Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Hello, friends. It's day 2 of no sleep. Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. 5.5-month-old baby girl at home. Just, sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up, yelling. Obviously babies learn to talk as they get older, but I think what she would have said the last time she woke up at 5 a.m. was, "Change my diaper." I got it. I wish you could have just said that to me rather than just yelling at the top of her lungs. So that's this show again brought to you by Espresso. And how much espresso can we fit into a Starbucks glass? The answer is all of it. It's all in here and coursing through my veins. She'll sleep one of these days. All right, today is March 27th. It is my son Henry's 7th birthday. Happy birthday to Henry. He may or may not see this. He's in school at the moment. There's Hank. 7 years ago. I'm trying to remember the exact time he was born. We're doing this show. It's 8:34 in the morning right now. I believe he was born after 10 a.m., right here in Muscatine, even though we were living in Rock Island at the time. My wife from Muscatine had the great Kim Weisman as her baby doc, as I like to say it. And all 3 of my kids have been born at Unity Point Health here in Muscatine, Henry being the first, who is 7 years old today. So we had cake for breakfast. His 4-year-old brother was very mad that it's not his birthday. And as we were singing Happy Birthday to Henry, my 4-year-old, and I would love to share this picture, but I don't know how good it would be to do. He was in the corner of the kitchen with his head in the corner, naked, sulking, because he hadn't gotten dressed yet. And he was so mad. I was like, "You gonna sing Happy Birthday to Hank?" "No!" So I showed the picture to his one preschool teacher when I dropped him off. Shout out to Miss Shar and Miss Diane. And she started dying laughing. And I'm like, I got to tell you, he might not be in a good mood today because it's his brother's birthday. And apparently you can't be happy for your brother when it's his birthday. Even though yesterday, the 4-year-old Ted, who is a fraternity boy, Ted got a present. But it's not his birthday till November. Whew. I don't know what to tell you. But he was very mad. And he was just standing in the corner, sulking in his birthday suit. There's Ted, there's Hank, and just not happy for his brother. Maybe as they get older, I feel like when it's Ted's birthday, November 30th, Henry will probably be like, "Cool, happy birthday." But boy, oh boy, that's a whole thing in my house, and it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the day looks like, that's for sure. All right, we've got a busy show with 2 guests out of the gate and then a 3rd guest at 9, so let's get things rolling. We're talking Muskie Locker this morning. To my right is Jeff Keith, and to Jeff's right is Laura Cook, and I'm so excited to have y'all here, and the fact that we have some props. So props for bringing props. Jeff, thanks for coming on. Laura, it's great to see you.
Great to see you.
Okay, so I don't know exactly, and you'll probably be able to answer this, of course, but I feel like it was a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I saw something or heard about something called Muskie Locker, and I kind of understood at the time that there would maybe be a need for students to have supplies as they went through their day. But it seems like, guys, over the last 2 or 3 years, however long it's been, Muskie Locker has grown to almost be something way more than that. And I know we're going to talk all about it, but give me the history, and for the folks at home that are watching that may have never heard about Muskie Locker until this very moment, give us a little bit of the history. How long did it start?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm not really sure.
Well, it started in the school district. We have a huge need.
Sure.
We have a huge amount of our students that are on free and reduced lunches.
Sure.
And those students, we realized, are not getting fed at home. And because of that, at the high school is where it initially started, that they were finding out that we could maybe fill some of that gap.
Sure.
And it just has built from there. Started out with some clothing and some bare essentials, health and beauty aids, and built from that just more and more to the point where we have a huge locker at the high school. I have a quite large locker at West Middle School.
Sure.
Central Middle School has a small locker themselves.
So this is just, it's very powerful. And every time I see a post from Muskie Locker, I'm proud of the people in Muscatine and the businesses that support Muskie Locker. But it can range depending on what. So we see things, and for the folks that are going to see things that are on the set, I mean, I take all this for granted, right? And maybe I don't, but I would say the majority of us don't even think twice about, not having deodorant or toothpaste or soap or a toothbrush. But the reality is that there are students in our schools that don't have access to things that we all probably have, mass quantities of. So, Laura, are you seeing a need in more, like, how is it balanced out? First of all, I guess, how many kids at the high school are served, but then are you supplying more food now versus the health and beauty supplies?
I can't really say that I'm supplying more food than health. What we do, we have a little system at the high school. The Muskie Locker is open about 5 periods a day. All right. And students can come in and take, whatever items they need. Gotcha. And then we also supply our PE teachers with the trial sizes. So they're available down in the locker rooms when, necessity comes. But we also, when we give a weekend bag, every 2 weeks we give a product bag. And we do a boy product bag and a girl product bag. So
this would be an example of a girl product bag that a student would receive every 2 weeks. Right. That's fantastic.
But they're available to come in and pick up products anytime they want. Sure. If there's more of a need than what we give.
And then with respects to food, I mean, before we started, you kind of said that I commented on how packed that bag is, and you said that's just some of the things that are given out. Yeah. We're just a week out of, from spring break having taken place. So Muskie Locker was helping students during spring break as well, setting them up before spring break, right?
Very much so.
Wow. Again, when you think about that, it's almost tough to hear that, those students may not know where a meal would come from that week that they're not at school. So is that bag would be an example of something that they would receive.
This would be about a weekly bag.
For like a weekend.
Right. A week.
Wow. Beings they get their lunches at school. Sure. We know they're getting one good meal a day. And then this is to supplement that and the weekend.
That is unbelievable. I mean, it is bursting at the seams. And then the activity bag, the paper bag. Right. What is this? I'm not familiar.
This is for students who are involved in after-school activities.
Oh,
track,
fantastic. Okay.
Maybe driver's ed, and they don't have the means to bring something to eat, for a snack. You get hungry. Driver's ed lasts till 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow. We usually, put in a mac and cheese, a drink.
Awesome.
And then crackers and fruits. And of course, the spoon.
I can't believe that. It's so well thought out, right? Like, again, these are things that most of us don't even think about. How many students, Jeff, at West Middle School? I mean, is it something that you track? And I don't need a number to people go, oh my gosh, but how many students do you think that you see with the locker
on a daily basis? I have probably, I would say, 45 to 50 students a day come in for a snack, whether some clothing. We do keep clothing also. Sure. Whatever it may be. And then once a week, towards the weekend, I send home the food supply for the weekend, and that is anywhere from 25 to 35 students.
Jeez Louise.
And that's meals, 2 meals every day, a breakfast and some sort of another meal along with snacks.
Laura, at the high school, I mean, is it?
For my weekend bags?
Yeah.
I'm in the range of 30 to 40. It depends. Sometimes the numbers go a little higher. Sometimes it might go down for a week. I ask my students to return the bag so I can refill it. Yeah. And they forget, of course, and I'll always have extras for them to grab, but it's hard to get cinch bags. So
I was going to say, and that's like the perfect bag to use. Are there, I'm assuming the answer is yes. Is it a certain classroom at the high school and at West that houses the Muskie Locker? I mean, you mentioned that some of the supplies are in the gym, which makes sense. But at West, is it in a specific location?
Yes, it's in off of my classroom.
Perfect.
I have a room that is secured.
Awesome.
With that much food and
Right.
clothing
Yeah.
and health and beauty aids, it needs to be under lock and key. And then, being I'm in there, students know that they can come in at any time.
Sure.
And get whatever they need. And then the food on the weekends, they come to me at the end of the day. And then after school, students come to me if they're involved in activities. They'll come and get whatever they need. If they need something just quick before a practice, or something that maybe later on after the game.
How are we doing with respects to? I mean, obviously, Muskie Locker, being at the high school, being in the middle schools, it's wonderful, and there's a need, right? So the reality is we need the lockers to be able to be full and to have supplies. But the first time that a student comes to get something, I imagine that I mean, how are they walking into the room without getting into specifics? I mean, because I wonder if you're finding yourselves having to assure them that it's okay and that they shouldn't feel bad that they need something. And I'm not assuming that you deal with that, but I just would hope that the students wouldn't feel like, oh, I can't believe I have to go grab something to eat. Do they not look at it that way? And then, or do you both have to kind of be there and tell them, hey, this is fine. This is what it's here for. Don't feel bad. We want to make sure that you've got what you need.
I have 2 different systems at the high school. So my supplies are not kept in the gym. I just send supplies down there. I do have a classroom dedicated to the Muskie Locker, and I house the clothing, the beauty supplies, and the food. One system is we have the Muskie Locker open from 4 to 5 periods a day, and kids can come in and browse, take what they need. Except for the food, during the day we just offer maybe crackers and granola bars.
Sure.
Okay? Because we want them to eat the school lunch. It's healthier.
Yeah, sure.
And then the second system is the kids can go into, if they're embarrassed to come into the Muskie Locker, they can go into our guidance office, tell our guidance office secretaries what they need.
Gotcha.
And they can fill out a form. I have everything listed on a form. They fill out the form. They give it to the Muskie Locker. I have some paras that help me run the Muskie Locker. And they, pack up a bag, and they can pick it up at the end of the school day.
And I ask that because, again, I don't.
So that way they're not.
Yeah, and the last thing that I never want a student to feel, inadequate or bad that they have to come to these lockers for supplies. I mean, that's why they're there. But I just wondered if that played into it, because again, it can be one thing for someone to, as a young person, acknowledge that they need the help, go and get it. But then if they're able to help process that, emotionally, mentally, and that's where having good resources like, both of you to assure them, like, this is fine, like, grab what you need and go about your day. And if you want to talk, and I know that there's resources in the schools, but it can just, help them feel better. And again, I hope that that's not the case. We've been looking at some great pictures on the screen, and one of the things I have on my list of things to talk about is, are there any certain supplies that are needed between the Muskie Locker at West or at the high school as we're sitting here today on the 27th of March? Are you running low on anything that we can ask people to give?
Food, we're always going through the food.
Gotcha.
We're always rotating the food through.
Sure.
The more food we have on hand, the more kids I can connect with and take care of. Clothing wise, we're limited space.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And it gets real hard. Health and beauty aids, I have a system with a huge filing cabinet.
Sure.
And everything rotates through that. I'm sitting right now okay. I wouldn't say fantastic, but okay. I'll make it through the school year and rebuild from there.
Restock, so to speak.
Restock.
Laura, what about at the high school?
High school's doing good. I will say that that's my tennis shoes, the class, powders. At the beginning of the year, my needs.
We talk about all the different supplies that are available coming out of the winter, so but not as many if you wanted. donate food, I would say. I mean, it's so great to have most of your able. And I'm assuming that's just as easy as going to the Hy-Vee off, grab it up the desk.
You bet. And also, it's worked really well. Thing that works a lot of times people don't know. And then we can come to Hy-Vee and what we need specifically get the right amount.
I get surprised. I lived 7 years. I hope people come here from individuals and from the businesses and make you feel choosing to help people. Already there's so enough that works out call and they show up and they answer. I'm sure that there's times you really were in dire straits and then somebody came through, right? I mean, it happens time and time again in this town. So any recent stories like that, individuals stepping up big or local businesses?
Well, for me at the high school, I'm collecting prom clothes.
Right.
And the Muscatine Active Raiders this weekend had a drive, and they provided me with quite a few dresses and prom, suits and shirts and ties. And right now we're in a need for prom clothes.
Sure.
So I'll take any donations of prom dresses or suits right now.
Yeah.
But, that was great that they came forward. And Sunday, they had the drive on Saturday. Sunday, we dropped it off at the high school, unpacked everything. And, we're getting set up for that prom.
It's going to be here soon. I was going to say, prom is one of those experiences that we want all of our students to be able to go to and not feel like they can't participate because they're not able to go out and purchase something or rent. I remember my tux that I rented for prom was $200 in 2002. That was a long time ago. It was 17 years ago, and it was that expensive. I can't even imagine.
It's still
how
about
costly.
the same price.
Right.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I mean, it is good to know that you can kind of put out that call to action and have people step up.
And just recently here at Hy-Vee,
Sure.
I was purchasing food for the locker. I think I had like 30 jars of peanut butter and jelly,
Sure.
and the cart was full, and the cashier asked, "Are you stocking up, or
Right.
This is a lot?"
Right.
And I said it was for the Muskie locker. Before I could get out of the door, a little girl, probably 8-10 years old, come up to me and handed me a $20 bill and said,
awesome.
"This is a donation for the Muskie locker. Mom and I overheard you tell the cashier."
Wow.
Things like that really tear at my heart.
I was
mean,
gonna say,
that's just
right. It's so great to hear stories like that because we need compassionate and empathetic young people, right, to be the future leaders. Being able to have something like Muskie Locker have started, become a success, expand to the middle schools, inspire other school districts. L&M just kind of started the Falcon Locker. Again, in a perfect world, we don't need Muskie Locker or Falcon Locker. But in the meanwhile, it's doing such a good thing. Every single day, you both are seeing students. And again, we know how important having food readily available is so that they can, have the nutrition that they need so that they can excel in school, right? I mean, it all goes hand in hand, and it can be just as simple as a snack bag for an activity or an entire weekend supply. I can't say enough about the work that you both do. I mean, it's definitely got to be very fulfilling, but at the same time, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of logistics in addition to everything else that you have going on, right? I mean, this is a whole thing to coordinate and make sure that our students are taken care of.
You bet.
Yeah, we do this on our free time.
Right. I was going to say this is
over and above our teaching and,
right.
and building those connections with the students. We also do the Riverbend Food Pantry.
Yep,
the drive,
absolutely.
the once a month, the second Tuesday of every month at the high school. And
4:30 to 6.
4:30 to 6. Last month we had 95 families that received food, and that was down a little bit.
Sure. Okay.
It was weather, it was parent-teacher conferences. With the weather getting warmer, I suspect that to start growing again.
Wow.
And we'll be doing that every month all summer long and going into next year.
I wanted to ask about that. So the school year, we just kind of heard, seems like June 5th will be the last day. I keep saying to Dr. Reeve, you can keep my first grader in preschool till the 4th of July if you want to. It's fine with me. I know that we have different sites at schools that will have meals available throughout the summer. And I feel like you just answered my question, but Muskie Locker continues during the summer in some respects, or the River Bend?
Yeah, the Muskie Locker does not.
Okay, but that River Bend drive will be. Okay,
and that's
good.
for the families.
Perfect. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then when the school year kicks off again in August. They have a start date for August yet? Is it like the...
They do. I don't know.
I don't know
either.
either.
They do.
I don't know.
It's on the side.
We don't want to
the
think about that just yet.
But we are in need of volunteers for that food drive, the once a month. We were down last month.
You were down in volunteers?
Yes.
Okay. How many volunteers do you typically need for something like that?
About 20.
Oh my gosh.
20 and even more is more helpful. Mm-hmm. The more people, the better.
Sure.
The way we're doing it is, they show up, they get a number. We have shopping carts, literally, and they go through, they get the items, we push the cart to their car, help get it unloaded, and do it all again.
Wow. This is very encouraging, and I appreciate both of your efforts to make a difference in the multitude of ways that you're doing it, right? And sometimes it can be, whether it's in the classroom or just knowing that, looking at this little thing of deodorant, I remember in 5th grade when all of a sudden it was almost cool to have deodorant, but I think our parents, it was their way of saying you stink. And I remember my first deodorant, while it was not a Suave 24-hour protection, it was a Right Guard travel size gel. And you use way too much when you're in 5th grade. You don't know. You just click it and you're like, well, and you count to 10. I remember doing that and then being like, is this how it's supposed to feel? This deodorant stuff is weird. So it's nice to know that the supplies are there. And I hope that folks at home that are watching, if it's your first time learning about Muskie Locker, understand and appreciate that there is a need. And if you can give of your time to help volunteer throughout the course of the months with the Riverbend Drive, or if you can come to a place like Hy-Vee and buy supplies, reach out to Muskie Locker, ask specific questions if things are needed. There's a lot of ways to connect to what's going on. The Facebook page is such a good resource. Holy moly, that's how Laura and Jeff are here, is this Facebook page. So this is it, right? What a great resource to have. We, as much as social media can be kind of a good and bad thing, you can get people to reach out, and I imagine that there's messages, constantly flowing to the Muskie Locker page.
There are, and sometimes that's how parents contact me and say, my child needs a bag.
Sure.
Through the Messenger, the Facebook page. So then we provide a bag for that week.
It's a
media
big deal.
has been great for that, social media.
Yeah. Jeff, what were you going to say?
And it helps out too within the school. The guidance counselors, someone might see it on the Facebook page and they'll call in, find out the guidance counselors will get contacted. Then they contact me and say, hey, we need a bag for this family or this student, and we take care of them that way.
Did either of you ever think that this would be part of what you get to do? It's got to be, again, you're very busy, but to be involved, did you ever think a couple years ago that this would be something that you would not only be a part of, but have so much time vested into it? I imagine
not myself, not
right,
at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, but we're so fortunate that you're both doing it, and I hope it continues, and I hope that, again, for people watching, get involved if you can. Listen, if one of us wins the Powerball tonight, I expect at least a check to Muskie Locker for $20 million. What are you going to do with $400 million? I think that's the take home after you win.
You bet.
Right? So please consider reaching out to Muskie Locker and help out if you can, that's for sure. And again, it's just so great to see the different churches and the individuals and the businesses. There's pictures and post after post of people giving. We just need to make sure that continues.
We have a great community.
I was just going to say,
great community. Yes.
Muscatine has been fantastic with all the support.
Yes.
We put the word out, and it seems like it's overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
It's very appreciated. The students and both Laura and I appreciate everything they do.
Well, it's really helping them.
And the school district's been great about giving us space and,
that's a whole other part of this, right? To allow this to happen.
Have staff help out,
So shout out to everybody in the district that understands that we've got to help meet the need and help our students. I hope that you all know how much of a good thing this is, and I hope it continues, obviously. And I'm so thankful, Jeff, that you were here.
Thank
Laura,
you.
Thank you. Keep it up, please. And let me know if you ever need anything that we can put out there to this audience, and ask them to step up and help give. We're happy to do so, okay?
Thank you.
All right, Muskie Locker at the high school and the middle schools at L&M. It's a really great thing, and you can reach out to them on Facebook at Muskie Locker. Check that out. And we can even see some of our friends, I think, with team staffing that made a donation not too long ago. So that's just great. So please consider helping out. You can make a difference for students right here in Muscatine. That is for sure. All right, Cody, let's go to the cart cam, Toyota Muscatine cart cam if we could, and then we'll get ready to talk to Pat. We'll get you over here in just a moment. Cody's got the cart cam today again, the 27th of March, my oldest son's birthday. He's 7. It's National Scribble Day. Sometimes I take notes when I'm talking to our guests, and I realize that I scribble. I thought I had better handwriting. I could be a doctor. Should have been Dr. Tone. Dr. Feelgood, if you'll have it. Cart cam in action. It's 2019 Toyota Muscatine hybrid. Runs on gas, batteries, and guess what else it runs on? It runs on Cody Power, ladies and gentlemen. It is Cody powered. So in addition to being National Scribble Day, it's Little Red Wagon Day. Will you be out and about operating a little red wagon? Maybe. Do we need a photo op? I can have him come back. Yeah, guy. Jeff, come back in for a photo op, will you, really quick? Laura, you want to maybe grab one of the purple bags, and we'll keep it on the cart cam. We'll do a photo op. Absolutely. It's also Manatee Appreciation Day. Shout out to all the manatees watching. Love Betsy saying she loves manatees. Of course you do. And National Joe Day. Let me know when you're ready. We're doing a behind the scenes photo op, everybody.
There we go. Thank you.
I've got my perma-cheese smile always ready. Don't worry. It's the same one. I concentrate on make sure my one eye doesn't close up like it used to do in a lot of pictures. It's a whole thing I'm very self-aware of. All right, so Cody's showing us a whole bunch of candy across from CBI Bank, the Super Bank, with the cart cam. Yeah, it's kind of like the candy carnival, they call it here at the Hy-Vee. Cody, pick your favorite candy that's on there and show it to us if you could. I know there's a lot of options, a lot of sweet treats available. I don't know if he's going to be able to pick just one, but you can check out that Candy Carnival display right here at your Muscatine Hy-Vee and load up. There you go. That's a humongous... Look at the size of that Tootsie Roll. Cotton candy, sweet and low. Let me see your Tootsie Roll. And we just did. That was great. When I was on the radio, I would interview the CEO of the Tootsie Roll Company, whose name is Ellen Gordon. And we would have a lot of fun talking to Mrs. Gordon. Cody, a Tootsie Roll fan, I wouldn't have figured it, but that's what we do on this show. We learn a lot of things every day, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I'm realizing at the moment that I need to get a haircut. Oh boy, I need to stop looking at the monitor. It is the truth monitor. All right, very good. So celebrate National Scribble Day. You know, I did go to college to be a high school English teacher originally. I don't know if I would have made it with this handwriting that I've got as I look at my notes. I'm glad that I'm not surrounded by educators that will judge my handwriting, but kind of am. All right, so here we go. So Laura Cook is going to hang out, and then Pat Mundell is here, and we're going to talk about bags of blessings, right? Pat, how are you? Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I'm so happy that you're here. Laura, thanks for staying.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Kind of get like a little bit of bonus time, if you will. So, Pat, I don't really know a lot about bags of blessings. I did a little bit of research, I feel like, but I would love for you to tell myself and our audience everything they need to know about bags of blessing. We just lost power in the bakery. I don't know if you guys saw that back there. Pat comes on the show. Yeah. She brings so much she's electric. Holy moly. All right, so let's talk about bags of blessings, Pat.
Bags of Blessings was started in the fall of 2009 at the United Church of Christ. It was a youth group, and they wanted to do a service project.
Okay.
And one of the coordinators was Jan Collinson from the school, and she told us that principals and teachers said that kids were coming in hungry on Monday.
Okay.
And that would be a good project for them to start. So they looked into the National Blessings in a Backpack, I believe.
Okay.
And Tom Emmerich was her co-chair at that time. And they felt that maybe the Blessings in a Backpack was, too much with the backpacks and everything. So we designed it, Bag of Blessings.
Yeah.
Those kids did a fundraiser at church. They raised enough money to support 40 students.
Oh my gosh.
And it started in January of 2010 when the kids went back to school.
Wow.
They did 3 elementary schools and 40 students.
So 10 years strong is incredible. Wow. Again, it's one thing to have an idea, to try it, to execute it, and then to keep doing it. So what are the age ranges of is it all young people that are involved?
Elementary schools.
Okay.
We only give the bags to elementary schools.
Okay.
Right.
So as far as everybody that's helping put the bags together, does that range in age, or are you encouraging the young people that are involved with Faith United Church Christ?
That's where Laura comes in.
Oh, hi, Laura. All right. See, I'm learning too. I'm learning too. So, yeah. So, all right. So explain that part of it.
Okay. So when it came to the high school, we I met with Pat in the group from the church.
Sure.
And it originally was being the bags were being filled at Madison Elementary with Cammie Alice's special education class. And so then when she moved to a different position, they asked if I would take it on at the high school. Fantastic. And so I have different groups at the high school filling the bags. I have our transition program.
Okay.
They help to fill the bags. And then I have a couple of our other groups within my department, within my special education department, filling the bags.
This is a great article that I found online. And if we go back to that first picture, Ryan, I just want to give a shout out to Katie Hansen, who is Jeff Hansen's daughter, my chiropractor. Katie's wonderful.
And my neighbor.
And your neighbor, right.
And she goes to our church.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. This is full circle.
She might have been part of it.
This is totally full circle. So,
I bet Katie was part of it.
This is so great. So, Laura, having students involved and helping other students, I mean, that's so great.
It's a great, we use it as also part of we have a program at the high school called Work Experience.
Yep, absolutely.
And so our Work Experience kids that are enrolled in our program also participate, and that's where Katie comes in at. So it's a kind of a preparation before the kids go out to the community to their job sites. And it gives them a little bit of experience of working together as a group, following instructions. So they pack this bag. We send it out in a paper bag now. And they get several items. They get 2 breakfast items.
Okay. This is unbelievable, the amount.
Some peanut butter and jelly.
Okay. I didn't know that you could have peanut butter and jelly that way.
Milk.
Milk. Okay.
Does not need to be refrigerated.
Cool.
Isn't that cool?
I didn't. All right.
Yes.
I'm learning a lot
today. They get 2 entrees.
Okay. And how often are the bags of blessings going out?
Every week.
Every week is it on Mondays still?
Fridays.
Or is it Fridays? Okay.
It's for the weekend.
Gotcha, for the weekend.
So this is kind of like, how the Muskie Locker does the weekend bags. This is the elementary students.
The elementary version.
And they get a treat
if you'll
and
have
some
it.
crackers.
Gosh, this is, wow. This is
14 items.
Impressive. That is a lot of stuff.
So that goes home weekly. Usually most schools pass it out on Friday. We do have one school that needs to do it on Thursday just because the quantity of students in the school that receive the bag. So they do pass it out on Thursdays. But yeah, this is what they get. We this year paired with the food bank.
Okay.
So I don't know, do you want to discuss how that took place?
Well, last year we ended up with 265 students.
Oh my gosh.
And the average cost, we have four different meals, and the cost ran anywhere from $4 to $5 a bag.
Wow.
So we realized with the amount of students that we had and the cost that we partners with Riverbend, and they pay for a portion of the meals, and then Bag of Blessings raises the money for the rest of the meals.
That's a lot. 265 for last year.
Right now we're at 222.
220.
220. So
our numbers went down, but with the elementary, the schools redistributing the students and the free
breakfast.
Right.
So our numbers did go down a little bit.
But still a need. Again.
So it's 220 now. Last year, like Pat said, we were at 265, and we had maintained that number for a couple of years. Yeah.
And so now it's $4.28 a bag.
Okay.
Every student, every bag, every week.
$4.28.
$4.28.
how many fundraisers throughout the course of the year will you have? Are there any coming up?
We are so fortunate in this community. We are supported by churches, individuals, corporations, and our church did a cake and pie auction we usually do it like every 2 years.
Sure.
But we have groups that, at Christmas time especially, they'll, instead of giving gifts, they give money to Bag of Blessings.
That's so nice to have, again, because we know that we have there's a lot of churches in this town, for a town the size of Muscatine.
They're very supportive.
And the fact that that they all can work together, that really impresses me. And the same with a lot of businesses, that they can all, I mean, everybody, I don't want to say everybody's asked constantly to give, but they are. And I don't hear a lot of organizations saying no, right? And when you hear something like 265 or 220, I just want to do the math really quick because I'm bad at math. 220 kids times $4.28 a bag is $941.60.
A week.
So a week times how many weeks are we distributing? Do we know that?
36.
36.
Yeah.
Oh my. $33,897.60.
Yeah.
And
when we're at
until
265, we're over $4,000 or $40,000 a year.
And before we partnered with Riverbend, the community supported totally.
Yes.
That whole project.
The Bags of Blessing program annually, I mean, with the numbers from this year, $33,897 is what would be needed to fund the program, to make sure that we can send the food home. That is unbelievable.
And Riverbend pays for, I believe it's 15% of the free and reduced.
Okay.
So they do pay for a large amount.
Yeah.
And they get donors to support that.
And that, I was going to say, that just started this year.
Just this year.
Up until this year, the community supported about $40,000 a year worth of, right.
And impressive that Muscatine was able to do that.
That's right.
And then we kind of get a little bit of relief in the form of Riverbend helping out, which we appreciate very much. That is great. So 220 students a week are benefiting from the Bags of Blessing. And I, for one, really appreciate the fact that we're able to get some of our special needs students involved and preparing. I mean, my brother-in-law has severe autism, spent a lot of time at the high school. My oldest cousin, Michelle, has special needs, and I think she's 45 maybe. So I've never seen differences, right? We're all different in our own way, but it's so important to have them be involved. I mean, whether they fully grasp where the food's going or not, it can help them, understand and appreciate and be more empathetic and just feel good about contributing. And those skills are, that's what we need to do, and that's what the schools do so well.
We do talk to the students about, them helping out and how they're contributing and helping out, those who are in need. So, but along with that, like I said, they get those job skills. Being able to go from maybe putting one item into a bag to two. So that's a skill.
Well, it's just it's so wonderful because the Bags of Blessing program is fantastic, and we're feeding a lot of students. At the same time, being able to help special needs students and have them get involved. That's impressive, right? That it can do a multiple.
And I think is it transition students? They also deliver to the schools.
Oh, that's the work experience.
Great. They deliver to the schools.
We do. Our work experience group on Thursday, we take out totes. They're heavy, about 40, 50 pounds, but we do 2 to 3 people per tote, and we deliver it to the schools. So then the guidance counselors or the secretaries, whoever is in charge of distributing to the classrooms, then distribute. Some of the students distribute to the classrooms. But we do a delivery every Thursday, and so the schools are ready to give them out on Friday to send home.
It's just fantastic. Pat, have you been involved the entire...
Since the day. Yeah, I've been involved since the beginning.
So you know that it's had an impact over the last 10 years.
Definitely.
Sure.
We hope so.
Well, if the need exists, amen. I'm with you.
We would like to see the numbers go down, but we don't know that that's going to happen either. So.
Well, and again, the reality is Muscatine steps up to the plate. when we need to meet that need. And whether that's with monetary donations or helping supply some of the food. I'm just impressed that peanut butter. This is just so great. So we're sitting here again March 27th. I don't want to assume that Bags of Blessings fully funded or has enough food for the rest of the year. Are there needs that you know
well,
of?
The food we get from Riverbend.
Okay, so the food all comes from Riverbend.
It used to be
gotcha.
that we buy locally.
Just send funds to Riverbend to offset that $4.28.
Yeah, we started with 8
okay.
items, and then
Gotcha.
we went to 10 items. We had a dietitian from our church, and she coordinated and developed the menus. But now we get it strictly from. It used to be fun for the kids to collect the foods, and it was fun.
Right.
You know, they could bring in so many items and deliver it to us.
What we know about Riverbend is that they can stretch their dollars and
That's
they have a lot
right.
of buying power. So that makes a lot of sense. So they're
Right.
sort of like the wholesaler, if you will. They're buying all the items in bulk and then sending it to Muscatine so then it can then get
In fact,
disseminated
today's a
to our
delivery
students.
day.
Today's a delivery day. All
That's
right.
right.
Seems like it's going to be a great day.
So
The board office?
The board office
Yeah.
was gracious enough to give us a space to
Okay.
store our
I
product.
wondered about that, yeah.
And the Riverbend delivers once a month, about this time.
Yeah.
And so then from there, my work experience kids go over to the board office, and we collect what we need for that week to stock.
Sure.
And we take it to the high school. We have a little closet that we do all of our business in at the high school, and we have shelving in there, so we stock our food. And then as we, are getting ready to bag it, the kids will open the area and start bagging. So it's
a lot of work. I imagine that delivery, if it's once a month, then that's
oh
my gosh, that is fantastic. This is so
it's part
great.
of it.
I don't feel bad that I didn't really know a lot about Bags of Blessings. I mean, half of the fun of doing the show is getting to learn about things myself, and that's an incredible thing to be going into the year and know that going strong. And the 220 students a week are benefiting on a weekly basis, not every other week.
That's just elementary students, too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just elementary students. It's staggering for sure, but it's a great thing. And again, this is how good things happen. They start as an idea, and we just need to encourage more people that have good ideas that involve, helping others to say it out loud. Sometimes you just need to say it out loud to somebody, whether it's at your church or to a friend or family, because you never know who's going to hear it and encourage you to run with it. And to have Bags of Blessings be just that, be born out of an idea, and then know it can have such an incredible impact. It's just great, right? I mean, it's just great. And it all started at, and I want to get this right, it was Faith United Church of Christ. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's where it all started, supported by all the different churches throughout Muscatine. And wow.
A lot of individuals. We have individuals that give on a monthly basis, churches that give on a monthly basis, corporations give, organizations give.
Wow, so great. Wow,
It is great.
I'm glad that you joined us, Pat, and Laura, that you're able to facilitate that generosity and get it to where it needs to go. Again, this is a lot of work that goes into this, right?
It is.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
it takes a community to do it, though.
Absolutely.
We have like at the food bank, and then we have the churches, and with the generosity of all, be able to fund this, and then the students at the high school or the worker bees, like better
Monica Boyer with respect to the new school year, but that's an option. Go drive you. I'm looking at it. I don't know, 5, 10, 25. But that $4 driving cover everything that's on both ends. So very different for elementary students being understanding how we bad and I want to receive that. And I always said, like, use an individual place back to the Musky Locker. There's so many employees back to Musky Locker. Thank you so much. I'm going to start head off. Be around this way. To know that it's that, again, whether at the time anybody knew it would turn into this or not. I mean, here we sit.
We never thought it would be this. And we didn't know how long it was going to last either. So
Sure. Well, don't slow down, okay?
Well, thanks to Laura
I was
and the
gonna
high
say,
school
Laura, yeah.
students. We
Laura,
need them.
no pressure.
Yeah,
We need you to keep this thing rocking.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Pat, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice
You
to
look
meet you.
familiar, though. When I saw you walk up, I was like, maybe I met Pat before. I don't know.
Maybe.
I've only been here 7 years, Pat. I don't know everybody.
Oh, well, maybe you've seen me in the store. I don't
Yeah,
know.
hopefully. All right, Bags of Blessing here in Muscatine. Please consider giving. Takes about $33 to $35, $6, sometimes $40,000 a year to fund this program based on the need. 220 students a week. Last year was 265. So as that number increases, so would the amount that it takes to make it happen. So let's all consider stepping up to the plate if we could. So let's do that. All right, Chad, we can go aisle cam. Yeah, perfect. CBI Bank and Trust aisle cam is looking at some rosé. Yes Way Rosé. Great name for a wine, right? Like, I felt like if there was ever a wine that I would think of a name for, like, what should we call that rosé? I don't know. What about Yes Way? That sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a good idea. Yes Way Rosé. What are you saying, Ryan? Oh, today is Synchronized Tornado Drill Day. Statewide Tornado Drill Day. Thank you. So if we hear the sirens going off, just Ryan saying that his 5th grade teacher posted that on Facebook. So if you hear the sirens being tested today, do we know what time exactly this is happening? 10:15. Thank you. All right. 10:15 this morning. When you see on Facebook what's going on, you can say it's just a drill. It's just a test. That is an unbelievable shirt. Is that her shirt that she's wearing that says this is not a drill and it's a picture of a hammer? Oh my gosh. I should have stuck with education. I could have wore shirts like that to work instead of a ridiculous button down like I've got. Although I did spend 11 years in radio and half the time I didn't even have a shirt on. You're welcome for that image, aren't you? All right, a couple things we'll get to, and then we'll do the job board, and we'll wrap up for the day. Going to be a good one, right? A little cold yesterday. Today seems like high is in the 60s, and then rain in the forecast this weekend. You know what we don't need is rain. We don't need any more water. We don't need any more rain. We've got enough flooding. The Mississippi River has spilled her banks. I just think of the cleanup that comes after the river recedes and the levels go down, and it's just gross, right? There's like giant tree limbs, and then the city. I mean, you think about how much work our public works department did this winter with plowing snow and then patching potholes, and now they got to clean up the river. It'd be different if it was like an ocean, right? And it was beautiful. Oh, there's a couple crabs in Mississippi Drive, but no, it's the river. And no offense to the river, but you're gross. You're just gross. I mean, half the time there's like broken tree limbs floating down. I mean, I'm glad that we live near water. I like the Mississippi River, but it's kind of dirty, right? I'm afraid I'm going to step on a catfish. I'm going to bite my foot off. I'm not going to walk in the flood. I'm just saying that's what I'm afraid is going to happen, or some type of river snake. Ryan, I want you to Google Mississippi River snake. And let's scare people. Let's be the show that puts fear into the viewer. Snake monsters in the mighty Mississippi. Snake in my backyard yesterday, guys. I don't know what kind. But I don't know why our yard. What I meant to say is there's no snakes in my yard and you should buy my house. Although maybe it's an incentive for, look at that snake monster. That's a water monster. Maybe that'll help sell my house. We got snakes in the yard. Buy Tony Tone's house. Have a pet snake. Say there. Say, you want to buy the house? We're just slithering around in the yard. That's what I feel like snakes, if snakes could talk, that's what they would say. Oh, hey there, I'm Mr. Snake. I'm going to bite your ankles. Now, that is not in my yard. That looks vicious. Yeah, that's not Ryan saying that's not good. Like he's some sort of Bear Grylls animal expert. This snake right here. You know what I don't like is when people provoke things like snakes, right? Like we had a snake on the show not that long ago. I held it, whatever. But if you're going to provoke something that just looks angry, like don't do that. I just poked this giant snake with this stick. Let's see what happens. Guess what? Look at how angry that snake is. You know what you don't need to do? That just gave me the chills, by the way. You know what you don't need to do that snake is provoke it. Or any type of animal. Why? We're so fascinated with like watching people cook and then watching shows where people are like, I'm going to go yell at this bear. What do you think's going to happen? I don't know. It'll probably end poorly. Can you stop yelling at bears, please? I promise not to yell at animals that could kill me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get really close to this shark. What do you think is going to happen? I'm sure it's going to be excited. Give you a high fin. All right. Let's do the stop poking things. What is that? Come on. She's got flip-flops on. Dirty water. I'm a germaphobe. All right, Fuel Saver Flyer, brand new each and every Wednesday here at the store. If you want to save money at the gas pump, you can do so. And I haven't even done the math on this week's Fuel Saver Flyer. Did I email it to Ryan? There's a chance that I may have forgot it. I have, I got this memory called My Baby's Not Sleeping. So whether I send things to Ryan or not, I don't know. But I hope that I did. So here it is. Look, I am okay. So I'm going to do the math really quick on this Fuel Saver Flyer. There's 5, 10, 15 cents, another 5 cents, 4 cents. How about another 5 cents, 15? Oh, boy, this is going to be tough math here. I got 30, 40, 50, 59 cents. All right, on the other side, I've got 69 cents, 79 cents, 89 cents, 94 cents. Oh, my gosh, $1.04, $1.09, $1. Oh, gosh. What are we calling that? Like $1.29 off per gallon, maybe? That's fast math. I like how we have 4 people on the show that could have busted out a calculator and helped out Tony, and none of y'all did it. Not even Betsy. She's sitting there with her hand on her head, and she's not even doing math. And I'm sitting here doing the hot new scribble math, trying to do it. I'm probably way off. I came up with 129. We'll have Ryan check my work. 4 people right here. Betsy's not even making an effort. She's just like, yeah? She's like, what do you want me to say? She's keeping an eye on the chat. Asking people about soup, probably. I'm looking to see. Colleen saying that sounds like middle child syndrome, hearkening back to my 4-year-old acting upset at his brother's birthday this morning. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. All right, Ryan's going to check my math. In the meanwhile, the meat department flyer we've also got. So when you walk into the store, we've got the spindles, right? You can grab a Fuel Saver Flyer. You can grab a meat department flyer. And a lot of opportunities for you to save money, especially if you're going to light the grill, right? Have you cleaned your grill? Have you got the new propane? Was my math right? $1.14? I was close. $1.14 on the flyer. I added 15 cents. I was feeling generous. I feel like if I check Ryan's math, he might not be right either. Meat department, kickoff to grilling. If you need propane, we have propane at Hy-Vee Gas. So grab your propane tank. There's not really, I know the propane tanks have a handle. Like a full propane tank, kind of awkward to carry though. So grab a propane tank, put it on the grill, and then get to grilling and check out these deals in the meat department that Mike Church put together. We've got it on a good-looking flyer. Shout out to Sycamore Printing for always taking care of me. And you can grab it when you walk in the door here at the Hy-Vee. Do we have the flyer, Rye Guy? No, we don't. Okay. Well, imagine this. It's got meat on it, everybody, and it's a piece of paper, and you can see it right when you walk in the door here at Hy-Vee. Is it Monday again, Ryan? Are you messing with me? Let me see. That's it. Kick off to grilling sale. Yes, nailed it. We've got boneless baby back ribs. We got some baby back brats and brat patties. You know what a brat patty is? If you haven't had one, it's essentially a bratwurst that they just smashed into a patty. I'm telling you what, I was 33 years old and I had my first brat patty, and that was a crying shame. You should have one earlier in life. I'm going to give my 5.5-month-old a brat patty for lunch. Hickory country bacon, wrap everything in bacon. Put some around your neck, make it a necklace. Boneless pork ribeye chops, boneless America's Cut, or boneless butterfly chops. Best meat department in Muscatine, bar none. I don't care. Best meat department. I'm saying it. I can say it. That's a hot take. Highest quality meat. Choice, prime, reserved. We've got it. And so much good variety. Nobody can touch our variety on the meat department. You can't. I'm sorry. But nice try. Let's go to the Hy-Vee Voice of Muscatine newspaper ad Friday and Saturday. One of these days, I'm going to fall off my chair, and it's going to be really scary because it'll look like I'm falling through your TV or your streaming device. There's some meat. That is a bacon necklace. Thank you. Yes. I'd wear it. I would want to cook it, though, I think. Right? Like the candy necklaces, you know? I mean, we've all probably worn like a candy necklace at some point, like Smarties. Reach down, take a bite. If you're going to have a bacon necklace, it might as well be a cooked bacon necklace, right? Maybe that could be the thing for Hy-Vee. Bacon necklaces. That's going to be the thing that takes us to the top and keeps us there forever. All right, let's go to the Voice of Muscatine newspaper ad. Pulled pork or palooza? Ladies and gentlemen, pulled porkapalooza. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. You can get a pulled pork sandwich for just $1.99. You probably got that in your cup holder in your vehicle right now. You could turn that change into a pulled pork sandwich served on a bakery fresh bun. Pulled pork a palooza. Friday, Saturday, 11 a to 7 p. Add a side dish for only $1. Mac and cheese, baked beans, gratin potato, mashed potato, vegetable, all the kitchen salads. Do the math. You can have a great lunch for under $5. Friday, Saturday, right here. Pulled pork a palooza. Muscatine Hy-Vee. It's very quiet in the store this morning, so I feel like I can be that loud and not feel bad about it. Pulled pork a palooza. I got an email yesterday. It's fun when I get emails from people like Gary Dolphin. Gary Dolphin reached out and just had a couple questions about the Breakfast with Gary Dolphin coming up on April 13th. So this is in the Voice of Muscatine newspaper ad this week. Little spot on the bottom. And then we've got some great flyers that our friends at Budweiser 7G made for us. This is April 13th, 8 to 10 a.m. Gary Dolphin, Voice of the Hawkeyes, in the store, doing a little bit of a meet and greet, a little bit of a Q&A. You can say hi, take a picture, whatever you want to do. Brian Musell will be moderating the Q&A, getting ready for Hawkeye football, which will be here very soon. You blink your eyes and football season returns, right? I mean, I know baseball is just starting, and I love baseball, but so many people ready to be back at Kinnick and watching Hawkeye football. So Gary Dolphin in Muscatine, Saturday, April 13th. Don't miss out on your chance to saying hi to Dolph. It's Wellness Wednesday. You're watching this tonight. You would still have time to get to Hy-Vee and save 10% on all your Health Market, health and beauty care item purchases, and organic produce. That's every single Wednesday, 10% off. Like last Wednesday, I bought a toothbrush and I saved 10% off. So whether you need something like a toothbrush or toothpaste or, I don't know, you just want to try something from the Health Market, your vitamins, you could save 10% off on your vitamins. It's all there, right? So that's a great deal. Don't miss it. And then there's some surprises in the Health Market. Like if you're, yesterday, there was somebody that was asking me about some of the Bang energy drink keto coffees. And I said, I've tried them all. They're good. Coffee in a can, maybe not for me, but it's got good stuff in it. You could also try the Meltdown with the 7,500 ketones. And I was telling this person about the ketones in the Meltdown drink, and that's 10% off as well, right? So everything in the Health Market, 10% off. It's a great deal. And also organic produce, right? Organic produce, 10% off. Broccoli, whatever's over there. There's so much organic produce. Yeah, I'm telling you, the Meltdown drink is not bad. It's just, it's kind of an obnoxious name, like 7,500 ketones. Like, did they count? How do you know that it's 7,500 ketones? Like, what if somebody measured and they're like, there's only 7,300? Then it's false advertising. Cody, do you know where the Meltdown drinks are? Are you familiar with where they're at? You want to go grab one? What the heck? Get your steps in. Put my Fitbit on if you could. I'm just kidding. So Cody will grab one really quick, and then I'll just show you. It's kind of silly, but it's good for you. All right. Two more things, job board. One more thing, and then the job board. Again, the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter. You know, we talked this morning on the show about the Muskie Locker and Bags of Blessings, and it was said that if we lived in a perfect world, we wouldn't need programs like Muskie Locker and Bags of Blessings, but we don't live in a perfect world. Same thing can be said for the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter. I wish that we didn't need to have the Domestic Violence Shelter, and I wish that domestic violence wasn't something that happened, especially in my own backyard, that backyard being Muscatine. The reality is the Domestic Violence Shelter is there for women and children that are leaving or fleeing a domestic violence situation. And for 17 years, the New Beginnings fundraiser has been there. Now, keep in mind that this fundraiser, when it started or in its inception, was designed to help gather supplies for women and children that were leaving the shelter to have that quote-unquote new beginning, that fresh start. But it has changed with things happening over the years, like funding being pulled from places like the Domestic Violence Shelter from the state level, which makes no sense when you think about some of the wasteful things we spend money on in government. I mean, we should be able to make sure that people are taken care of better. That just seems like a no-brainer. So that fundraiser, the New Beginnings fundraiser, accounts now for a third of the budget. Get your tickets. Ryan, go to mcsaiowa.org. Let's show people where they can get their tickets. Cody bringing me the Meltdown and Tootsie Rolls. It's a great diet that I'm on. Go to MCSA Iowa. I might have to crack open this meltdown because I am tired. This is Tired Tone, everybody. MCSAIowa.org. You can scroll down. You can see the domestic violence shelter has their own link right there. And you can get your tickets for the New Beginnings fundraiser. It's next Saturday. I can't believe it. April 6th at Geneva Golf and Country Club. 5:30 to 9:30. All the money stays locally to help out the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter. Get your tickets online. Get the Isabel Bloom online. Tickets are going quickly. Almost sold out, as a matter of fact. So, and I'm not saying that as a way to, it's not like I'm lying. Tickets will sell out. I don't want you to miss out on a chance to be there. You can do it right on the phone or on your computer, mcsaiowa.org. All right, I want to show you the meltdown. This is it. 10% off. This is the keto drink thing. 7,500 milligrams of ketones. It'll enhance your fat loss, increase your metabolism, and enhance your energy. And this flavor is Grape Blade Lemonade. We could have just called it Grape Lemonade. We put the blade in there because it's going to melt you down. And then after you drink it, you just squeeze the can. And then you recycle it or return it for the deposit. And then Cody grabbed his favorite Tootsie Rolls. 2 king-size. Wow, those are humongous. I didn't know that they made Tootsie Rolls that big. Just for $1? That's an entire Tootsie Roll, the length of this thing? How much sugar is in there? None! Just a little bit. Everything in moderation, right? Okay. Let's get to the team staffing job board, and then we'll get out of here for the day. See if there's folks out there that need a job. Team staffing can help. We have the job board Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on this show ready to go for you. Up first is Mary. She's looking for a janitor, part-time, full-time, 10 to 14 bucks an hour. Again, whether it's a full-time job or a part-time job or a second job, team staffing can help. 563-316-7634. Or careers@teamssi.com. Here's Brooke McCullough, who just celebrated 10 years with team staffing. Brooke has warehouse customer service, 14 bucks an hour. You can call Brooke at 563-316-7636 or reach out again on the old email. And Katie has some opportunities for you with TSI Enterprises. Process operator, $18.75 an hour. Lab tech, $19.55 an hour. Or maintenance, 20 bucks an hour. Call Katie, 563-316-9254. Reach out and say hi. Thank you again to Laura Cook and Jeff Keefe with Muskie Locker at the high school and at West Middle School. And thank you to Pat Mundell. Mundell, right? I said it right. Yeah, with Bags of Blessings. Doing great work, helping our students and making sure that they have what they need. And I appreciate their time very much. We've got 2 more shows left this week, Thursday and Friday. And then we'll wrap it up. And, I'm just excited to have warmer weather today, even though we do have some chance for rain in the forecast. Listen, we're getting a spring, right? It's not just going from winter to summer, and I'm okay with that. I would rather have a spring and then it gradually warm up and turn into a nice summer. And, boy, aren't we excited for that. That's for sure. Got to do a little bit of spring cleaning around the house, getting it ready to sell it. And, if you want to buy my house, don't forget, I'll buy you Adventureland tickets if you do. People think I'm joking. I'm not joking. Or if you help me find someone that buys my house, I'll give you Adventureland tickets. They're coming out of my pocket, but I'm happy to do it. Whatever it takes, let's sell Tony's house. What's my address? It's not ready yet, Ryan. Don't do that. The Google pictures are bad. There's still thorn bushes out front. They don't look good. I had the thorn bushes taken out. I still got to hang new shutters. There's a couple small projects, but we can see the finish line. Here's my wife and I. We can see the finish line with our hand noculars. We can see it. So, buy my house. Thank you for watching, and thanks to our friends at CBI Bank and Trust, Toyota of Muscatine, and Team Staffing for their support. Catch replays on cable. Maybe you're watching this on cable. Hi. Thanks for watching. Pretty soon, some more homes available on the REMAX channel. Muscatine Power and Water, local content on the TV. You're welcome, MPW, quite frankly. It's got some people to tune in just for this show, so how about that? Hey, there's Roman and Scott, everybody. Those bakers, they work hard here at the Hy-Vee. That's what I'll tell you. All right, thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. Goodbye. Meltdown.
watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone.
Be very, very quiet while hunting wabbits.
We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community.
I'm trying to emote for the play that the alumni are putting on in Wilton this Friday, Saturday.
Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, hyveetoday@gmail.com.